I'm Kaylin Campbell, a student in Victoria, British Columbia, and I have a two-part question. Firstly, in your opinion, what is the biggest failing of the Harper government on our green economy? And secondly, as Prime Minister, what would be the first change you would make to address the environmental concerns currently facing our country? I look forward to hearing your responses.
Okay, let's open it up for
First
debate.
response, because
We have 3 minutes.
So, Paul, I was interested in seeing in your plan, it was quite a good plan, by the way, that the only discussion that you have in your plan is where you, on the revenue side, is where you commit to not do something. You commit not to touch the GST. I wonder if you want to talk a little bit about that, about where you stand on the GST, where you think I do, and how do you think that we should fund a plan like yours?
Well, actually, I'm going to focus on the environment and climate change, and I think we need to focus on key investments in the environment. And that means looking at what I call the East-West grid, which is essentially greening the grid in this country so we can take the opportunities that we already have, hydroelectric energy, which right now is going south on us. And
it's
our
a great
American
plan,
friends
but how do you propose
are
to pay
actually,
for it?
well, and if I may, one of the things that we need to do is look at key strategic investments in this country for infrastructure. And that's why I'm asking that we have a permanent infrastructure plan with the provinces, acceptance, of course, as Tom knows is important. And where that money will come from is by taking the corporate tax cuts that we've actually handed over to corporations without strings attached and start investing in infrastructure in this country. And that's what I think the key is in terms of dealing with the energy, the environment, and making sure that the economy is supported.
Well, Paul, I was the only Quebec politician who didn't complain when the federal government decided to give loan guarantees for developing the Lower Churchill. It cost me something in the last election, but you saw the overall result in Quebec wasn't shabby. What we did is that we said that if we're going to be in favor of green renewables, we can't be against them the minute it's in another province. And I've said that Quebec should ask what the criteria are for getting those sorts of loan guarantees. I agree with you, but I think we have to be very careful of provincial jurisdictions as well. But if we have a government vision for developing green renewables across Canada, not only does Canada have some of the most consistent wind currents in the world, they're serendipitously in those same latitudes where we have all the hydro infrastructure and the largest concentrations of First Nations, so we can partner with them and develop that vision.
But we need that grid, and we need to green the grid. We can have all of the potential green energy in the world, but if we don't have that capacity, we're not going to be able to avail ourselves of it.
But
and of course, it won't help the economy
in that.
So
to pay for it by putting on the public debt.
Pardon me?
If at the end of the day what you're proposing to do with all of these plans is essentially to finance them by putting them on the public debt.
I thought we were talking about the environment and
we're
energy.
Talking about how to get it, talking about how to get it done.
taxes.
We're talking about how to get it done.
Right.
You get it done
Absolutely.
by putting it on the public debt, then the risk that you run is that we won't get elected. Or if we do get elected,
Who's saying that,
we have a plan.
Who's saying that, Brian?
We have a plan that we can't implement.
I'm not saying that. That's your plan.
And so when you lay out
your plan on taxes is there, but I'm talking about energy, environment, and jobs.
Investments in energy, and you got to talk about
how
you'll actually get it done.
And I have. And what you seem to be fixated is on taxes. I have. And so as economists have.
And the only thing you say there is what you won't do.
Well, no, it isn't actually. It's about the plan that gets us to where the economy and the environment are going to be supported. And I have put that forward. I don't see any plan from you at all.
A cap and trade system will provide a lot of revenue.
Yes, it's true.
Gentlemen, thank you. That's the end of our time. Our